Wow, to the family. Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year. Yeah, we made it, man. They say we wouldn't make it, but we made it, man. Yo, man. Y'all tell somebody you love them, man. Spread that frequency, man. It's contagious and it's the strongest frequency, period. That energy that you give when you say you LOVE somebody. Beyond the English forked language, man, that love is real. Israel, stand up. This is crazy, man. I got so many tabs open. I clicked on one of them, and the library was still up on this tab. First I cried, and then I said, all right, man, So I'm really trying to get things up this week for us, y'all. So I'm working on that. Shabbat Shalom. I can get back to work. All right, and yeah, man, just reminds us how far we've come collectively as a classroom. All this drop, man, that's been collected, throughout the years. And yeah, man, so this is just our humble beginnings, and we're going to keep building in this pure water, this frequency. It just feels so good to see it, though. We don't see it for, a couple of weeks, man, You forget how much you've ciphered through this stuff, man, how much hours been put into it. So I thank y'all for rocking with me, man, from the precipice, man, from the beginning to all this great drop. So I got all this stuff backed up. Don't even trip. And, what a beautiful blessing. Because for some reason, this tab, is fully operational. I can click on any of these links. So, yeah, man. Hawa. You know what I'm saying? We can still use this at least, for this particular classroom. But I'll have it back up for my people, but just take a look at, what you've done, what you collected. This is your journey. This is your water. This is your new year, your redemption, your remembrance, your awakening, your frequency, your vibration. Wow. Oh, that Papal love, man. Oh, man. We have such a great journey to go. Get back in that OSB for sure. Back in the land of Prester John. Prester One. We're going to get a little Prester John snippet today as well, because you see how it's going to weave its way back through. He's going to be like, don't forget about me, man. Y'all done dug up 26, 27 parts on Prester John. Don't forget about a player. Prester John, we on your ass, man. We back on your ass, man. We love, man. It's the dopest investigation I've ever been part of, man. Digging on who Prester John is with y'all. So, but we had to get some more of these babies, some more foundations, so that this can even be firmer, to come back to it. You gotta take those breaths, man. I gotta get into that secret destiny of America for sure. Love to M.A. Truth, Uno dropping that on me. Man. So, yeah, Dr. CB, man, get that electricity. All this will be back up for y'all, man. The Chronicle of Akakor, coming right back with that series as well. Man, Flat Earth Conspiracy. So we got some of that in the Worlds Beyond the Pole series. So we are, hitting this stuff up, y'all. We hitting it up, man. But these are some great sources, great source material for you to continue to, build your journey, start your journey, you know what I'm saying? Smooth things out a little bit. We'll be in this history of the American Indians by James Adair. Love to Francisco, man, for tearing this one up, man. He's been, putting great energy into this particular work. So I've been meaning to get back to it. So that's all right. And great piece as well, man. Oh, man. So yeah, this is part 3, man. Indian, Israelites, and Indians, man. All right. We're going to just part 3 it up. In this series, I like to really connect things the best way we can to our best, greatest opportunity here. Connect them, man. As far as what these explorers were saying, some say, hey, these people were Hamites. Some say, no, these people were the tribes of Israel. So we know we're just talking about the Ame'rican, the copper colored race found here, the 1828. We got all that today, man. But yeah, man, we'll be back, man. We'll be back in this library. Keeps going, man. White slavery, barbary states. All right, now. We get back in that survival drop, too. So like I said, we're gonna jump right into the actually we're gonna start with the Lost Tribes of Promised Lands, man. Cause I said, you know, Preston John plays, man. King David plays, man. The timelines play. You can't keep falling asleep when certain things have been, you know, triggered. You know, you gotta keep your timelines in play. And we'll be back to that series too, man. The, you know, true chronology, you know, Anatoly for the mango. Man, love to the homie Paco. Where's Paco at, man? Paco. I'm gonna do it like this. Paco has a 19-second drop called What's Up. We're gonna get this What's Up from Paco. And then we're gonna get the his Psalms 119 for our dismount. So we're gonna go real quick, man. When we start going, we're gonna go. You know, this is just the intro. And you know, we are a community here. We are a tribe here. We recognize us. All right? Paco, he just saying what's up. What's up? What's up? All right, that's it. Paco, yo, man. Let me get that mug back up here, man. Come on, man. Yeah, man. Love to the family, Paco, man. And you know what I'm saying, this is one of the kings, man, that's been truly in the front of the class, back of the class, side to side, man. The king's been just, you know what I'm saying, really front and center, man, providing us so many of the great links that we come across, the great PDFs as well that we come across, you know, sending us that energy from, I mean, a long time, man. So this is nothing brand new here, Paco. You're going to get nothing but pure water, guaranteed. And the brother really falls back. I mean, he's only 21 years old. Reminds me of Jay Stu a lot. These young, brilliant, you know what I'm saying, just waves of fresh water, fresh energy. And it's so dope, man, because I'm 37, man. And, you know, this is my bro, you know what I'm saying? So it's real cool, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying, what attracts, you know, how the energy attracts, man. And that's just all Hawa. Y'all subscribe to Paco. He's just getting going. It's like his first drop, man. He got 3 subscribers so far. He should have 3,000 with what this energy that he's about to bring and spread to y'all. He should have 300,000. He should have 300. Cause you know what I'm saying. But keep vibing with Paco, because Paco's gonna take you on a great ride, a great journey. You know what I'm saying. He is a true researcher for real. So I just look forward to what Paco got in the crates. I know Paco got so much stored up, man. So a lot of these researchers, I'm like, yo, when you start dropping, I already know it's going to be, you know what I'm saying, phenomenal. So I look forward to phenomenal things from you, my brother Paco. I love you, my brother Paco. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, my bro. You are this wave. This is your wave. You own it. This is your wave, bro. And I love you for that, man. So we'll be back, man. We're going to get that dismount, that Paco dismount, man. Love to everybody who's been dropping that drop on the tribe. On the tribe. As you know, we got our land. So, you know what I'm saying? This J Stu, this connection, this tribe, this family that has been built right in front of your eyes, man. Love to all the family that's built together for all those months, man. They sacrificed and did all this and just really became so purposeful, man, in finding the land, finding, you know what I'm saying, what was going on. I mean, they were going different places, man. I mean, they were really running point, man. And all the energy, you know what I'm saying, that's gone into this is way beyond a YouTube video or a GoFundMe, man. I mean, everyone has come out their pockets to come to this point right here at some point in time, man. So love to the sister, you know what I'm saying, V Perkins, you know what I'm saying, my wonderful sister, V Perkins, in New Orleans. And yeah, it's just a great, you know, vision, man, to know what's about to happen, man. It's a great vision. I'm speechless, man. I can't go from Paco to this and not be speechless, man. I love y'all sincerely for making this purposeful, and love to all the family. You know what I'm saying? It's truly coming together. That's all we can say. And everyone's out in the open, and it's all exposed for you, you know what I'm saying, to be a part of. And this particular fund right here truly, you know what I'm saying, was so much of a backbone for, you know, just the little things we needed along the way while the tribe was was out there, you know what I'm saying, truly hijack free, man, you know. Now as we regroup and they come back, we want them to have something to come back to. You know, these are families that are growing. These are growing families, if you know what I mean. So we're trying to really do our best, man. So, you know what I'm saying, over 1,800, as you know, has already gone to the tribe out of this, over 1,800. So you do the math, whatever's left after that 18 is what they got to come back to, and what we have, you know what I'm saying, for whenever, you know what I'm saying, that wave hits as we exodus, as we grow, as we expand, you know what I'm saying, into these mountains and these trees again, and connect and learn how to be indigenous. You know, we just want to have a place for families to go, you know, start, you know, building, you know what I'm saying, building as a nation. You know, you don't have to just go crazy and sell everything and you're gone. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, all right, well, you can have a plot, you can have somewhere to come and to build, and a unity factor to always come to, you know, plan together, plot together, you know what I'm saying? A couple families, different things you want to do, come out there and build as a nation. And that's how we are doing it together. And it's hijack free, just somewhere that you can go connect with your creator and not be around, you know what I'm saying, all these, you know, all the madness and all the static and all the chaos that's normally surrounding you. This is where you do it. You know what I'm saying? We call it Choose Up Village, man. Just go choose up. So, you know, what you're doing and supporting them definitely gets reciprocated, reflected right back on you. And it's all about Hawaii. And this is just the beginning. And like I said, we will have other GoFundMes, just, you know what I'm saying, for anybody, you know what I'm saying, that needs help. That's what initially we were trying to do with this. And then, of course, it became just about making that mission happen. So that's what we got it. So we'll keep expanding. We're going to do another GoFundMe for the land development, another GoFundMe again for all those that, you know what I'm saying, might come into a crisis, you know what I'm saying, scenario. This was only the first one. And I appreciate you, you know, all for allowing this to be what it truly is. I'll take this in reality over any illusion. I'll take this reality over any illusion. I'll take the reality of the support from the family, like, you know, V Brown, all right, Penelope Campbell. I mean, still dropping that drop. The Hamilton family dropping that drop. Everyone dropping anonymous. I love you because I know you just staying low key, and I appreciate you all. You know what I'm saying? All the same, man. To the highest, to the highest, to the highest, man. All, you know what I'm saying, in that most high vibration. I appreciate y'all because this is what you're doing specifically to help this family build. We are awakening. We are returning. And this is us. This is us. This is you. So to see them be successful, to see them come back and have a great new year, and, you know what I'm saying, know that the family's, you know, keeping them in their minds and their hearts and supporting, man. Wilma Bates, Brandon Rockwell, you know what I'm saying, Tony Paulie, the Copper family, Cooper family, Cooper family, Copper family. All right, there I said the Copper family. That's Sister Jazz, all right, who had a wonderful script, man. I mean, it keeps going, man. You know, y'all get me all choked up, man. Sharing for, it's just amazing, man, to see how we've you know, taken shape here. And some people say, well, this is not enough, and some people say this, but I'm more than excited, man. I'm more than excited to know that it creates a possibility, you know, to know that we can come together and support, you know what I'm saying, a family, a group of people, and that we all can be connected to this group of people. We all can be connected and affected by this group of people, this family. J. Stu, Chameleon, affected all of us. Connecting with Vanessa Perkins affected all of us. Connected with Mario and Shalise affected everybody. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? The Most High used everybody to have the mission be complete, and to be standing right now and to be holding what we got. All praise the Creator. 100. You know what I'm saying? So keep loving up, because this ain't going away. This tribe is going to continue, you know what I'm saying, to need you. So this is just the beginning of you know, letting that love be felt, letting that love be directed, you know what I'm saying? And show your love to Isaac Ford, who's not doing nothing but dropping a drop while we're in our, you know, little intermission with the site, the Vibe Suites. You know what I'm saying? We still got the links, so we're still going to be building the playlist, making the most exclusive and dope 432, you know what I'm saying, setup, and, you know, for everyone to come and get all their drop albums. We was on the phone the other day, man, and we were just throwing out albums and albums that, you know what I'm saying, we were like, man, you got to do the Above the Rim soundtrack. You're like, all right, man, you got to do the New Jack City soundtrack. It's like, all right, man. I was like, man, you need, man, Ice Cube, Lethal Injection, let go. All right, man, Sade, Maxwell, all this stuff is coming. So Right now, the brother is just dropping albums and 432 for you. So you got the Erykah Badu, he just dropped live. You got the Lauryn Hill live, MTV Unplugged, and 432 right now. So, you know, click those links below. Show your love to Isaac Ford. Go ahead and vibrate, man, to that Lauryn Hill, man, while you're at work, while you're working out. That Erykah Badu, you got the link. And this is 432, and this is our family who's doing nothing but, you know, supporting the grid, supporting our true grid being restored, our true energy, our true vibration. We just changing the grid. We're just changing the energy on y'all. You know what I'm saying? While we read and drop that drop. Wale dropped. Lauryn Hill dropped. Erykah Badu dropped. Kendrick Lamar, Section 80. Y'all remember this one? I slept on it, but not no more. 432 Hertz. Got that whole album, man. 16 tracks. Devin the Dude. Acoustic, Levitation, Vibration. All right? Devin the Dude showed his love on Instagram, man, for dropping his joint at 432. So a lot of these artists are really hip to this. Remember when B.O.B. hit us up on Twitter as well. Say, yeah, man, not too many people is up on that 432, man. So we, you know, this is being confirmed, man, you know what I'm saying, by those even in the, you know, music biz and the industry, you know what I mean? They still support, they still, you know, appreciate it. Bishop Lamar gave a wonderful interview, one of the best interviews we had, as well as my man Bishop Lamar. Man. All right, you know what I'm saying? It's going to come to me later. But the bro dropped a book called Buck. MK Asante. There we go. Thank you for sending me that. MK Asante. Y'all check out MK Asante. He hit us up and he dropped his entire album exclusive, live on the radio, 432 to drop in 432 Hertz. He said, man, drop it exclusively, put it out in 432 Hertz. It's the first time anybody's going to hear it. And that's just the love, you know what I'm saying, from all our family, man, from East Coast, West Coast, all that, man. So Devin the Dude showed his love. We appreciate that. Childish Gambino, Awaken My Love, and 432 Hertz. J. Cole, For Your Eyes Only. All these albums have been tuned to 432 Hertz. Love to Isaac Ford and many more to come. So when we drop our side, we drop our drop albums. You already know what time it is. We already know what we're talking about. So let go. Now we ready. So we just back in that Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, and all right, put on your rain boots. Love to Paco. You know what I'm saying, for dropping his first drop, man. Y'all go subscribe, check out Paco. And real talk, man, Happy New Year. You know what I'm saying? I know everyone went crazy a few months ago saying, it's a new year. And you said, all right, man, are there some new crops? Nope. All right, man, is it still the dead of winter? Yep. But Happy New Year. I mean, you're out of your minds. It's the winter solstice. Why you're celebrating it. It is pagan. It is pagan. And you have to come out of her and know that when your crops start to appear and the harvest season comes, that is a new year. And it is harvest season. It is redemption season for the tribe. Love to the family. Love to the Ame'rican. Let go. What does it mean? What does it mean? Before we start, here we go. Just remember, that in 1828, these people put out their first, you know, official dictionary. After they came, their Declaration of Independence in 1776. Now they independent from other melanated people who been putting the shaman on you, signing treaties. Now these American, they say, in their definition of American, all right, you're in the mind of a hijack. The invader did a dictionary, and the invader's dictionary, under the title of American, says a native of America originally applied to the Aboriginals. You remember when that governor, that Georgia governor, Alabama governor, called all the black people in Alabama Aboriginal, and then came back and apologized for it, like it was like calling them niggas or something. Like, oops, I shouldn't have called you Aboriginals, because he knew that you are the original people. Original people. So this definition in 1828 of American is a native of America, originally applied to the original people, or copper-colored races, found here by the Europeans, or so-called Europeans, right? Because we know what the indigenous people of Asia look like. Copper-colored races, the native of America is a native of America, applied to the original or copper-colored race, found here. So my so-called Negro, if they can't tell you who you are, how can they tell you who you're not? You're going to see here, and this is why this series is so important, to connect and show you that they really were doing inquiries. They were just throwing out shit, throwing out guesses as to who you are, where you're from, and who you connect to. And none of it was a wham bam, oh, you come from Africa, peace. Now you got the little racist kid on the corner saying, go back to Africa. And it's like, how did racist Tommy get the drop on who you are? If the definition of American says originals applied to the originals or copper-colored race. You know what an old penny look like? You know what your brown, copper-colored ruddy look like, people? You know that you are not them and they are not you anywhere else. You know that there's something peculiar about you here that they just found in the New World. And your title American is now applied to the descendants of the invaders, so-called European, born in America. So now the descendants get your title, right? Just like the Papal Bull, Dumb Diversas, 1452. Subjugate these people, put them in perpetual servitude, and take all their titles, their land, take all their stuff, and now that's going to be given to the descendants of these conquerors, conquistadors, invaders, giving you dis-ease, disease. Now your title goes to them forever, because they're born here. Who else can come and just be born somewhere and claim the title of these people? And now these people are called Black or African American. Come on, man. Come up out of her. It's time to come up out of her. Fair use in your caboose. We're just doing some criticism, some comments, some teaching, some scholarship, some research, and it's all good. It's all good in the balance. It's all good. And yeah, we're back in that library, you know what I'm saying? At least virtually. Sorry y'all can't experience this with me. I'm having a great time here. Don't mind me, but I'm sharing it with you. I'm not over here in the corner doing my own thing. I'm sharing it with you. Keep supporting J Stu and the crew and the tribe. Let's go. Isaac 4 got the drive. Drop it on him, man. Drop him a comment. Let him know. You know what I'm saying? This is a great thing, man. We all over there. We all over the place. You can take away, you know what I'm saying, our site. You can take away our site for a little bit. You can hack it, but we're going to come stronger with our own servers, on our own hosting. Man, let us rock. You just making us smarter. Every time we attack, we just get smarter. We just start to, figure more things out. All right. Love to my man Isaac 4, man. So let's go. So we just read about the copper color. So I'm going to start here. Because I'm in that James Adair. I'm in that James Adair. All right. On the color of the Indians of America. So you got the link. Pull it up. I'm starting right here. As the American Indians are of a reddish or copper color. You see it right away. Let me get some alkaline. Alkaline water. Here we go. As the American Indians are of a reddish or copper color, so in general they are strong, well proportioned in body and limbs, surprisingly active and nimble, and hardly in their own way of living. They are ingenious. Genius? It's crazy because some some publications and some authors call you dull-eyed and dumb, looking like animals and this and this and this and this. But this particular, explorer, researcher, doing his own recon, said, man, these people are ingenious in this new world. They're witty, they're cunning, they're deceitful. Whoa! How'd you go from ingenious and witty to deceitful, man? Why would you call us deceitful? Hijack City? Hijack City says, no, here we go. Very faithful indeed to their own tribes. All right, so to their brothers, they're good. All right, but privately dishonest and mischievous to the Europeans and Christians. No hijacks allowed. So to their brothers, they're not dishonest or mischievous, but to the invader, the descendant of Europeans born in America, now applied, that have taken the titles of these Americans originally applied to the originals or copper-colored race found here by the European. As the American Indians are of a reddish or copper color, so in general they are strong. They are ingenious. You saw what they found in cities of gold. You're going to have to really decide what portrait you want to, subscribe to, I guess, whatever, or believe or accept in your vibration. Of you being, some, Tonto running around just with a bow and arrow and a little teepee. Man, have you ever seen, you're going to have to factor all this stuff in. Look at St. Maurice. Knight armor. All right. You can't have it both ways, people. All right. You can't know that these images exist. And we're going back well before Columbus. And Estevanico the Moor came over, you know what I mean? We're talking about Amadeus. His real name, Amadeus Andros. Oh, we were all Moor. We were all great. We were all knights. Get back in the Press of John. You remember Jacob the Knight? Now this is connected to the Ashkenaz Bible. Some drop that they had some identity and micrography of Jacob the Knight. In the Ashkenaz Bible produced in the 13th century, we find a unique micrographic decoration portraying Ezekiel's vision on the bottom margin. The Mazorah micrography shows the full bodies of the four creatures, the lion facing the ox, and the man in full armor and holding an object in each hand facing the eagle. I suggest that the choice to portray the human figure in this micrography as an armored knight can be explained by reference to the tradition describing seeing Jacob's image engraved on the throne in Ezekiel's vision, as also reflected in the writings of Hezadiah Ashkenaz. The decoration identifies the human figure as Jacob. Yes, the Jacob, which may illustrate the verse Aver Yaakov, meaning mighty one of Jacob or Jacob the Knight. And even in the drop library, we have the image that they were referring to of Jacob the Knight. Oh, this is coming back, y'all. Don't even trip. I heard somebody like, come on, man. Damn, wish I had that. I know, man. Me too, man. But this is the image right here that we got, when we researched Jacob the Knight. The image of Jacob engraved upon the throne. And Rachel Niece even goes into it. The face of Jacob on the throne of God. Jacob the Knight in full armor. So we know we were dealing with knights and these Templars and this, You know what I'm saying? All the situation. We also know he had treacherous Templars. And I'm saying if it was going down like this, then how can it be going down with just, you know what I'm saying, running around butt naked? Not that some tribes in some areas were doing different things, of course, but this was going on from the early ADs. And Preston John's rocking here, you know what I'm saying, all throughout the 11th century, 12th century, 13th century. Genghis Khan just took out his uncle, this Mongol Khan's Khan-yon Khan. Like I said, we're coming back to it. And you have look how he's decked out. From head to toe. Okay, so just keep these and just choose and just know that this was already going down. Don't make them try to make it more primitive and treat you like you're an animal and this and that when they got all the drop from you. As you've been connecting over there in Rus, Russia, Mosaka, Moses, Mashika. One thing is not one thing is an illusion and one thing's reality. We're trying to get real. That's all we're trying to do. All right, so remember, just keep your memory going on. All right. Copper color. All right, James Adair. Yeah. So, no hijacks allowed. Mischievous to the Europeans and Christians. They're being honest and harmless to each other, maybe through fear, resentment, and reprisal, which is unavoidable in case of any injury. They are very close and retentive of their secrets, never forget injuries, revengeful of blood to a degree of distraction. They are timorous and consequently cautious, very jealous of encroachments from their Christian neighbors. They don't want to be rolled up on by these hijacks. And likewise content with freedom in every turn of fortune. Content with freedom in every turn of fortune. So you love your freedom. Don't act like this is some new talk. You love your freedom and you are not free. What you gonna do about it? That is the vibration we're on. So we'll get back into this lost tribes. We're about to get there. So this is out of Ronald Sanders' joint, wonderful joint. And it always, we're always able to take it home with this, man. So we do not know much concerning Columbus's crew of about 90 men aboard the 3 ships, but at least one of them was an Israelite, or they're going to call a convert, Louis Torres, whose presence as such was not merely accidental. There was a reason for him being there. This was Louis de Torres, a convert of possibly only that year. So he was a convert, but he spoke Hebrew, which is why he was there, to come meet you, so-called Negroes, which we are really confirming are the Ame'ricans. Copper color race found here. Come on. So why did he take this dude, this convert, who spoke Hebrew, to come see these copper colored people? That's what we're connecting with, Israelites and Indians. Let's go. This was Louis de Torres, a convert of possibly only that year, who had once held a position with the governor of Menasseh. He was said to have known Hebrew, Aramaic, and some Arabic, and had been brought along by Columbus specifically as an interpreter. One of the purposes of the voyage, as we have seen, was to find the great Khan. So yeah, we talk about Khan and Khans, and of course it's a title of rulership. Title like Prester John. And who's trying to be the Khan, the great Khan, the king? Now, Torres was to be the mouthpiece. Now, they're finding the great Khan here. That should at least alert you. Now we're talking South America. Again, we're talking Mexico, Mexica. All right, mouthpiece for this encounter, presumably on the basis of his Hebrew. So Torres was only there for the Hebrew. Perhaps Columbus and his supporters had decided that the great Khan reported on by Marco Polo, we're going to get some of that Polo, and others might be the Israelite king who dwelt across the river from Prester John. So let's say if Prester John was King David, then the Israelite king would be, you might have a king of Judah, king of Israel situation. Northern tribe, southern tribe situation. We're going to get back in that Prester John because we on your ass, Prester John. All right. Prester John. Now, just soak this in because this is a big sentence. All right. We keep coming back here. Perhaps Columbus and his supporters had decided that the great Khan, we're only talking Ame'rican. You see how they even wrote it here? Khan. Put the K-H, Khan. And you might be surfing the wave. That the great Khan, reported on by Marco Polo and others, might be the Israelite king. So it lets you know straight up and down that the kingdom of Israel is here. Or else why would he have decided that the great Khan reported on by Marco Polo and others might be the Israelite king? Who is also the great Khan. So it's letting you know that these so-called Mongols, or this title, has been hijacked. That even the Mongol you think of today ain't even the real Mongol. And that when you deal with these Khans and these Khans, there was a Khan war, there was a Moor war, and it was a high-tech war with high-tech, you know what I'm saying, armor, cities of gold, what they would call magic. We're just talking energy and the understanding of your elements, comprehension of your elements. So we're talking an Israelite king and America people, an Israelite king and America people. Israelite king and American people. Let's get some of this. The Atlantic Monthly, volume 104. Let's get it quickly. In the Columbian or Columbus Library at Seville, Biblioteca de Colombina de Sevilla, Spain, Colombina or Columbus Library at Seville, there is a printed copy of the Polo record, the Libre Diversorum, or Livre de Diversas at Messer Marco de Milioni, which belonged to Cologne, and in this there are manuscript notes by Christopher himself on 76 of 150 of the 150 pages, showing how he well knew and how much he valued the book, which perhaps more than any other was his guide. And even if Polo's name does not occur in the Admiral's journal of the voyage of 1492, or rather the abstract of that journal, which is all that they possess, all that we possess, yet Polo's Cathay, now you're going to get this Cathay, and you're going to keep thinking, oh, Cathay must be somewhere else in Asia or something else, but you're going to see what they refer to as Cathay. Polo's Cathay and Zipangu are constantly in evidence herein. So what's the relationship with this Cathay and this Zipangu? Are they the same? Let's go. A week before he lands in Guanahani, Columbus opinions that the Pinzon suggestion to steer southwest is not made with respect to Zipango. So now they're calling it Zipango. 2 days after the discovery, he feels he must go on to try and find Zipango. Here it was Zipangu. Here is Zipango. Alright, so 2 days after the discovery, he feels he must go on to try and find Zipangu. And when he reaches Cuba, he believes it from the signs the Indians make to be this very land. Cuba, okay. At the same time, he is equally anxious to reach the mainland of China. All right. So we're talking, he's looking for China, Or is he referring to China as something else? He is determined to deliver the letters of the Catholic's king to the Grand Khan. Whoa, he's looking for the Grand Khan? In China? But we're talking Cuba. Wait, are we talking Cuba or China? So this should make you go, we're just talking to Grand Khan. Remember, perhaps Columbus and his supporters had decided that the Great Khan reported on by Marco Polo, Great Khan, might be the Israelite king. Cross from Prester John, the Sambanyang River. So he has the letters to deliver to the Grand Khan, now so hopeless and anachronism. With the said Khan, he gathers from the natives, a Cuban monarch, was now at war. So he's referring to this Cuban monarch or this Khan, which might be the what? Israelite king across the river, the Sambanyang. We're putting it together. The Khan's great ships. Now you see how they're calling Khan with the C instead of the CH, which is why you see over here C-A-N, Khan, Ame'rican. It's still Khan. It's still Khan. It's still Khan. The Khan's great ships, he understood, came to Cuba. 10 days journeys from the Chinese mainland. All right, is Cuba 10 days from the Chinese mainland? Put it together. The cotton of the West Indies would be sure of a good market in this city. In his city, His Majesty was perhaps in the grand city of Cathay. It is certain, he writes, while still off of the Cuban coast, that I am in front of Zeto and Ginsei of Amur Harbor and Hong Kawu. And again, the Cariba and Caniba, which was, sounds like Canada, right? Which was described to him as the mainland behind Hispaniola, in our language, the north coast of South America. Columbus believes he has at last located the name and kingdom of the Khan. Wait, how can he be talking about the Khan in the Chinese mainland? And then talk about South America and say, now I found the Khan? Almost as if he's referring to China as South America. As Cuba clearly is a big marker for him, connecting to this Israelite king who dwelt across the river. What river? That's the next question, right? What river? So we got some of that James Adair. Let's get some of his views of the Hebrews, alright? Or the tribes of Israel in America. This Ethan Smith joint. Styles by Nina did a great job with this. Let's go. Alright, let's go to 27. Man, so many great places to start in this joint, man. All right, let's go here. Chapter 3, the present state of Judah and Israel. All right, let's get it. The present state of the Jews is so well understood in the Christian and literary world that very little will here be said on this part of the subject, while a more particular attention will be paid to the present state of the 10 tribes of Israel. The whole present population of the Jews has been calculated at 5 million. Okay, so we know where they're talking about Hebrews, all right, the copper color, all right, but the probability is, as has been thought by good judges, as they are far more numerous Negro, Hebo, Negro, Hebo, Hebrew. One noted character says that in Poland and in parts of Turkey, Mosak, Mosaka, Moses, Moshe, there are at least 3 millions of this people, and that among them generally there is unusual spirit of inquiry relative to Christianity. Okay, yeah, they're inquiring how their Torah got hijacked in Christianity. Mr. Noah says that in the states of Barbary, their number exceeds 700,000. Their population, Persia, China, India, Tartary, is stated in a report in the London Society for the Conversion of the Jews to be more than 300,000 in Western Asia. As Jews are numerous, they are found in almost every land. As in Europe, this remarkable people have been singularly depressed and in ages past made a taunt, reproach, and a byword. Trot it down, you Negro. So you know they're not talking about anyone else but you. Scattered and peddled. Who else was scattered? Scattered to the four corners. One would hope that quarter of the world would feel themselves obligated to be singularly active in bringing about their restoration. But who's involved with the restoration of the Negro? But the Negro. We have to be involved in our own redemption, our own restoration. Only the Creator can save us. Considerable has been undertaken to ameliorate their condition and prepare the way for their restoration. All right, so let's go down. Let's get down. We're just going to get into some great drop as we connect this thing. I advise you get all this. Come skip us some really great things, man. But for the interest of time, we gotta get it. All right. This is good, right? I'm just reading. All right. So let several suppositions now be made. Suppose an extensive continent had lately been discovered. All right. Suppose an extensive continent had lately been discovered. Away northeast from Media and at a distance of 1.5 years' journey. Suppose. A place probably destitute of inhabitants since the flood to the time of the casting out of Israel. Suppose a people to have been lately discovered in that sequestered region, appearing as we should rationally expect the nation of Israel to appear at this period, that the account given by the writer in Esdras being a fact. Suppose them to be found in tribes. Who else do they consider tribes but Indigenous, who they call Indians, or Hebrews? 12 tribes. So of course they're found in tribes with heads of tribes but destitute of letters and in a savage state. Okay. Suppose among different tribes the following traditionary fragments are by credible witnesses picked up, and some particulars among one region of them and some among another, while all appear evidently to be of the same family. Suppose them to have escaped the polytheism of pagan world and to acknowledge one and only one, Hawa, not God, Hawa, the Great Spirit, who created all things seen and unseen. Suppose the name retained by many of them for this Great Spirit to be what they're saying, Eyez, the old Hebrew name of God, Yahweh, whereas the Hebrew name for Lord was Jehovah, and they call the great, as they call also they call the great first cause, what they're calling Yah. All right, we already know the Hebrew name being Jah. We know the J is new, so all this is hijacked. But let's go. Suppose you find most of them professing great reverence for this great, what they're calling this Yahweh. They just put the J, so we call Hawa, Heya, Hawa, calling him the great beneficent, supreme Holy Spirit, and the only object of worship. Suppose the most intelligent of them to be elated with the idea that God, or Hawa, has ever been the head of their community, that their fathers were once in covenant with him, and the rest of the world were the accursed people, as out of covenant with God. Suppose you find them on certain occasions singing in religious dance, hallelujah, or praise Jah, also addressing Yahweh, Shelah, Shishilu, Yahweh, Yahweh. All right. So you see the similarities, you know what I'm saying? But of course, we dodge the hijack. And making use of many names and phrases evidently Hebrew. You find them counting their time, as did ancient Israel, in a manner different from all other nations. They kept a variety of religious feasts, which must resemble those kept in the ancient Israel, or this is the ancient Israel. You find an evening feast among them, in which a bone of the animal must not be broken. If the provision be more than one family can eat, a neighbor must be called in to help eat it. And if any of it be still left, it must be burned before the next rising sun. You find them eating bitter vegetables to cleanse themselves from sin. So they're eating raw vegetables. Come on, to cleanse themselves from sin. Electric. All right, man. You find they never eat the hollow of the thigh of any animal. They inform that their fathers practiced circumcision. Some of them have been in the habit of keeping a jubilee. They have their places answering to the cities of refuge in ancient Israel. And these no blood is ever shed by any avenger. You find them with their temples, such as they be, their holy of holies in their temple, into which it is utterly prohibited for a common person to enter. They have their high priests who officiate in their temples and make their yearly atonements there in a singular pontifical dress, which they fancy to be in the likeness of one worn by their predecessors in ancient times, with their breastplate, and various holy ornaments. The high priest, when addressing to his people what they call the old divine speech, calls them the beloved and holy people, and urges them to imitate their virtuous ancestors, and tells them of their beloved land flowing with milk and honey. They tell you that Hawa, once chose their nation from all the rest of mankind to be his peculiar, that a book which Hawa gave was once theirs, and then things went well with them. But other people got it from them, and then they fell under the displeasure of the Great Spirit, but that they shall at some time regain it. So they have prophecy that they're going to regain their creator, regain their frequency, man. They inform you some of their fathers once had a spirit to foretell future events and to work miracles. Suppose they have their imitation of the Ark of the Covenant, where were deposited their most sacred things, into which it is the great crime for any common people to look. All their males must appear at the temple at 3 noted feasts in a year. They inform you of the ancient flood, of the preservation of one family in a vessel, of this man in the ark sending out first a great bird and then a little one to see if the waters were gone. That the great one returned no more, but the little one returned with a branch. They tell you of the confusion of languages when people were building a great high place, of the longevity of the ancients, that they lived till their feet were worn out with walking and their throats were with eating. Alright, so we're just talking about some similarities between these people. Let's get it. Let's get one more chapter. One more, because I want to get some more great stuff down here. So you find them with their traditional history, and their ancient fathers once lived where people were dreadfully wicked, and the 9/10 of their fathers took counsel and left the wicked place, being led by the Great Spirit into this country, that they came through a region where it was always winter, snow, and frozen, that they came to a great water, that their way hither was thus obstructed till Hawa, right, dried up that water. Probably it froze between the islands. We call it the Barren Strait. Yeah, so you heard that, but we're connecting. Remember the Papal, we got the Annals of the Acoustic. They literally are saying that they're are following their chief who's holding the staff and parting the waters. All right, so you find them keeping their annual feast. At the time the ears of corn become fit for use, and none of their corn is eaten till a part of it is brought to this feast, and certain religious ceremonies performed. You find them keeping an ancient feast in which 12 men must cut 12 sapling poles to make a booth. Here, on an altar made of 12 stones, on which no tool may pass, they must sacrifice. You find them with their custom of washing and anointing their dead, and when in deep affliction, laying their hand on their mouth in the dust. You find them most scrupulously practicing a religious rite of separating their women, which almost precisely answers to the ancient law of Moses's upon this subject, and many other things you find among this newly discovered people. The Ame'rican, the copper color race found here by the European. The so-called Negro that they're saying comes from Africa is who they found here. And they don't want to tell you. But Rudolph Sanders already told you. Perhaps Columbus and his supporters had decided that the great Khan reported on by Marco Polo and others might be the Israelite king. And if they're finding an Israelite king here, my people, if they're in Cuba talking about, oh man, you know what I'm saying? This might be the, place of the great Khan. This might be, the area of this Israelite kingdom. We're talking South America, right? The north coast of South America. Columbus believes he has at last located the name and kingdom of the Khan. And now they call you Americans, and they take your title for themselves. We're just getting started. Let's just keep going. So this is a View of the Hebrews by Ethan Smith. All right, it's another, and these are different drafts of basically the same document I was trying to pull up. Let's just keep going. This is going to be a little small. Wish I could get it bigger, but just rock with me. So everything related to the Hebrews demands the attention of the Christian world. The sign of the times, as well as the predictions of the prophets, seem to indicate their speedy restoration. Those branches which have so long been broken off for their unbelief are about to be grafted into their own olive tree again. The Jews or Hebrews, in all their dispersion, have been preserved a distinct people, that some great and important purpose might be answered by them in the providence of God in these later days. And what that purpose is, the apostle hints in the 11th chapter of Romans. Now to follow them be the riches of the world. So your fall, everyone came up off of it, which is why they made a confederacy. Psalms 83. They all came up off of you. They all come up off of you now. Look in your neighborhoods. They making money, putting it back in their neighborhood. They're coming up off you still. Look at your talents, that they're just exploiting all your talents. Imagine if you work together. Not to follow them be the riches of the world, and the diminishing of them the riches of the Gentiles. How much more their fullness, man. If the casting away of them be the reconciling of the world, what shall the receiving of them be but life from the dead? You're dead until you wake up. The Jewish nation, the Israelites, right, were long the only visible people of God. Why? They were a people cut off from being such that the door of hope might be open to the Gentiles, and their recovery is to be the great means of introducing the later day glory of the church. Later day. It has been a question on which the opinions of Christians have been somewhat divided, whether they are to be converted and united with the churches of believing Gentiles. So should we convert these Hebrews? We're going to get some of that out of Menasseh ben Israel and his world. Should we convert these Jews, these Hebrews, these copper color races found here in the places where they reside, or whether they are to return in a body to the land of their fathers? But it would seem that a careful comparison of the language in which their dispersion was predicted must remove every doubt. Events are indeed the best interpreters of prophecy, but when it is seen by the events which have already transpired respecting that nation, how literally the prophecies relative to their past history have been fulfilled, no doubt can remain that the prophecies which relate to their restoration not only indicate their conversion to Hawa, they're calling God. One has a vibration, one doesn't. Their conversion to Hawa, but their literal return to the land of their fathers and their actual possession of it. You Hebrews, you copper-colored people will possess your land. Wake up, you're the only ones without one. That might mean that everyone's is yours. According to the grant made to Abraham to the end of the world, so that covenant is still rocking. Now, let's go down. Let's get some good stuff. Let's get some good stuff. The third chapter is entitled The Present State of Judah and Israel. So we just been getting some of that right here. This is the present state of Judah and Israel. All right, so all this is weaving, y'all. So these authors are big up in each other, sourcing each other's work. All right, so the third chapter is entitled The Present State of Judah and Israel. The author makes a few observations on the present state of the Jews, the Hebrews, copper color, and the efforts now making to Christianize them, and then says, my present object is rather to attend to the present state of the 10 tribes of Israel. This branch of the Hebrew family have long been outcast, out of sight, or unknown as Hebrews. The questions arise, are they in existence as a distinct people? If so, who or where are they? They can't tell you who you are. They can't tell you who you're not. Who are these people? They're still asking questions in the 16th century. 19th century. This is the 1800s this was written. They still don't know who you are. Don't let nobody label you as anything. If they don't know who you are, there's only one place you can go, and that's to your creator. There's no title that can satisfy you. You are your father's seed. You are your shaper's seed. You are the remnant. That's who you are. This branch of the Hebrew family has long been outcast, out of sight, or unknown as Hebrews. The question arises, are they in existence? Are these Negroes in existence? Are these Negroes a distinct people? If so, who and where are these Negroes? All right, that's how you should read it. There are queries of great moment at this period when the time of their restoration is drawing near. He then remarks, 1, that it has already been ascertained that the 10 tribes are to be recovered and restored with the Jews, or what they're trying to hijack you into. From this, it follows that the 10 tribes must now have somewhere on earth a distinct existence in an outcast state. That's when they found you. The copper colored race found here by the European. You were in an outcast state. You were on your own, on your own frequency, man. You were on your own frequency, copper-colored race. I'm talking to you. You were on your own frequency, man. Somewhere on earth, distinct existence in an outcast state. A message is cited from the writer of the apocryphal Book of Eyez, which says that the 10 tribes, that after they were carried away by Shalmaneser, which was recently in possibly the 1200s, not no BCs, to Media, they took, man, your timelines play. They put your timelines back on top of each other 330 years. Then they did it again 1,056 years. Then they did it again 1,833 years, something crazy. And they kept shifting you back, switching the names of the kings and the times and the places. And Anatoly Fomenko told you that, the Russian chronographer, get the drop. So when they say Shalmaneser, don't think of what they told you, what time and what period. There is no BC. If the hijack don't, if their vain image don't exist, if it was just vanity created, it ain't real. They took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never man dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes which they never kept, that is, uniformly as they are taught, as they ought, uniformly as they ought in their own land. There was a great way to go, namely for a year and a half, and further describes them as journeying to the northeast or southwest if you flip the map, which they did, southwest. The author then proceeds as follows. All right, so this writer states the following heads of arguments. So these are their, 12 main heads of arguments of why you so-called Negro are Israelites or Hebrews of different tribes, however you want to call it. The creator seed, however you want to call it. Specifically, the creator seeds, the seeds of Adam. 1, the American natives have their own origin. They're not saying you come from Africa, are they? Is this researcher saying that? Their language appears to have been Hebrew. Well, that makes sense. That might be why Columbus took over a Hebrew interpreter named Louis Torres. Torres, a convert, possibly that year, who spoke Hebrew to talk to you. Who spoke Hebrew just to talk to you. What else? What else, man? We're just going down the list. They have their imitation of the Ark of the Covenant in ancient Israel. Or do they have the real thing because this is ancient Israel? Let's go. They have been in practice of circumcision. They have acknowledged one and only one Hawa existence. Their vanity of traditions, their variety of traditions, historical and religious, go to invents that they are the 10 tribes of Israel based on their traditions. The celebrated William Penn gives account of the natives of Pennsylvania, which go to corroborate the same point that they are Israel. They're having a tribe answering in various respects to the tribe of Levi, who is pressed to John as we keep digging. These tribes of Moses. Who are these tribes of Moses? Who are the Meshika? Let's go. Sheds further light on the subject. Several prophetic traits of character given of the Hebrews do accurately apply to the Aborigines of America. Really? All right, well, Deuteronomy, 28? I think, yeah. Let's go. The Indians being in tribes with their heads and names of tribes affords further light upon this subject. They're having an imitation of the ancient city of refuge, or do they have the real city of refuge? City of David? Jerusalem, Perusalem? What is Cusco? What is Hebron? Bolivia? Man, go to the backup channel and get that last drop. Go to the backup channel, click on it, because this is all connecting with the Horace Butler drop. Evinces the truth of the subject. And 12. Other Indian rights and various other considerations go to events or give evidence to the fact that this people are the 10 tribes of Israel. And he's pretty much laying it out there. Then he goes into his argument 1. You know what I'm saying? And, we got a lot more to get out of this, but We're surfing the wave relatively quickly. You remember this from last part 2. This is part 3, so get 1 and 2. This is Love to Uno, man. Drop this on us, man. That Christopher Columbus and the participation of the Jews in the Spanish and Portuguese discoveries of the New World. Louis de Torres, page 95. Louis de Torres, the first European who discovered the use of tobacco, was also the first person of Jewish stock. He was a convert, right? Who settled in Cuba. And what did they give this convert in Cuba? Remember Cuba? Cuba, the Khan. When he reached Cuba, he believes it from the signs the Indians make to be this very land of the Gran Khan. Gran Khan, he gathers from the natives. The Cuban monarch was now at war. The Khan's great ships, he understood, came to Cuba. The great Khan, the Israelite king. Perhaps Columbus and his supporters had decided that the great Khan, reported on by Marco Polo and others, might be the Israelite king. And that Prester John's right with him, because they're both kings. Let's go. Copper color race, the present state of Judah. We're surfing the wave. All right, we got some of that views. Man. All right, before I get lost. All right. So Louis de Torres, same Torres, the first European, discovered the use of tobacco. This saying, so he's a European, he's a convert, settled in Cuba. He won the favor of the ruler, the cacique, the cacique, and received from him as presents not merely lands but also slaves. So he won the favor of his ruler, the invader, and the invader gave him slaves and land. All right, in Cuba, Hispaniola, and other islands, which he discovered, right? How can you discover when people are already there, you fool? Columbus found natives who had their caciques and their own language and traditions. To what race did these aborigines of America belong? Who knows? Who knows where these copper color races belong? So how can you tell them where they're from? How can you tell them who they are? How can you ask these people to recognize your tribe when you already have a tribe and you already have a status? How do you ask people who don't know who you are to recognize you? That's asinine. Either you're coming or you're going. Either you're coming in her or you're coming back out of her. And this ain't the type of, you know what I'm saying? This heathen ain't the one you want to get pregnant. So come out of her. You don't want this seed. You don't want this energy. But now apply it to the descendants of the Europeans born here who brought you dis-ease. Dis-ease. Cuba. Gran Khan, Ame'rican. Alright, so to what race did these aborigines of America belong? Several writers have asserted. They've guessed, they've made inquiries, and have displayed much learning in an attempt to prove that the aborigines were descendant of these Jews or Hebrews. This result was reached already in the 16th century by the Spanish clergyman Roldan. His arguments were derived from an unpublished manuscript, which he described. I was getting a little piece because we got some of this before. Which he discovered in the library of St. S. Pablo in Seville, Colombina de Sevilla, Spain. Montesino, we got to get this Montesino, who possessed the manuscripts of Louis Lopez, the learned bishop of Quito, was convinced that the Peruvians were of Hebrew, they say Jewish, blackish, Hebrew, Israelite origin, all right? So they already were convinced that these Peruvians in Jerusalem were Israelites. They were already convinced, the view of Roldan and Gregorio Garcia and the Aborigines, that the Aborigines of America, the copper color race found here, the Aboriginal of America, the original autochthon of America, were descendants of the Israelites, was maintained with many arguments in one of the same year in 1650. They were arguing about your origin, people. How do you let them brainwash you in school and with maps flipped upside down tell you that you're African American, when you're nothing but the copper color race they found here and enslaved on your own land. And Martin Luther King told you that. The Negro finds himself enslaved on their own land. His own land, his own land, his own land. He kept saying his own land. You're in captivity on your own land, man. And what are we talking about? You know, how they argued about converting you. And we got this before out of Menasseh ben Israel. All right, we're about to start making our dismount soon. Now check this out. This is Menasseh ben Israel in his world. All that's up in the library, but it's going to be back up for you. You got the link. Click on it. Let's go. Although we're on page is this, man? It's about to go down. 66. Start at 66. Although Medi carried weight with the English Puritans, they realized that even he could be wrong. He claimed that various events in the Book of Revelations would occur in 1642. These are what was called the millenarians or Malarians or Malarian people. They believed that the world was ending people in 1600s, and this was real. So then coming over here was literally like trying to get like a new checkpoint, a new lifeline, man. They were dying in the Black Plague, in their environment, in their framework. They were dying. The Book of Revelation would occur in 1642, and they did not. Besides, the settler missionaries found matters in Massachusetts Bay colony quite different than Medi had described. They found docile, friendly Indians. So they tried to paint you as savages, but when they got their own recon, they found docile, friendly, so-called Indians, Ame'ricans, some of who wanted to become Christians. Really? When they were just slaughtering, convert or die? Convert or die? And they said, yeah, sure, no problem. So, dodge the hijack, let's go. They established schools for them. Oh, that's nice. And they tried to get the great John Comenius to use Harvard as the center of universal enlightenment for Indians and Europeans. They translated the scriptures for the Indians. The missionaries began, listen up, the missionaries began to suspect something radically different was going on in the environments of Boston, namely that the pure English Christians were baptizing and converting Indians who were Jews. This author, Menasseh, ain't saying they might be Israelites. He's saying they are Israelites, and that they're converting Israelites to Christianity, which is where you're getting your so-called Nestorian Christians from. Their concept of, oh yeah, sure, okay, you could be Christian as long as you are, but we'll call you Nestorian, related to an old king renowned for wise counsel, an old king renowned for wisdom, Solomon. You're the Solomon Christians, no problem. And if the Indians were Jews or Israelites, Indians and Israelites, an enormous missionary effort would be needed to convert Israelites to Christianity, to say there's now something coming in between you and the Creator. See, here's the sun. Go through the sun now. Remember I told you that. Forget the laws. You're going to have to tell these Israelites to forget the laws and that there's now a hijack between them and their Creator. So on behalf of the New England Missionary Society, a volume was written by a Norfolk preacher, one Thomas Thorogood, called Jews in America, and the probability that the Indians are Jews or Israelites. This was to be dedicated to Charles I, but his overthrow delayed the publication of the book. The job of writing a preface to it was given to John Dury, perhaps the most active millenarian theoretician in the Puritan Revolutionary. Dury, a Scot, was born in Holland, student of, so he did some stuff. Now let's go down a little bit. Let's go down to the bed. And go down bed. Now he was in England. When presented with Thorogood's text, he immediately put it in context of some providential data he had learned from the Jews in Holland, so the Israelites in Holland, especially from Manasseh ben Israel. The lost tribe of Israel would reappear just before the millennium. This created their religion of these millenarians, that we're going to see these Negroes, we're going to see these copper-colored races. These people will pop back up in their seclusion, which Dury was sure would occur in 1655, people. They were looking for Israelites in 1655 to fit this prophecy that you would pop back up before the millennium, before the end of the 1700s. The 1600s. He had heard from a Jewish jeweler in the Hague that some of the lost tribes had been located east of the Holy Land in Persia or in Afghanistan. He had heard from the most learned Jewish writer at the time, his friend and co-worker Menasseh ben Israel, that a Portuguese Moreno explorer, Antonio de Montesinos, had encountered a Israelite tribe in the Andes, cities of gold, South America, Mexica, Jerusalem, Moses. He knew that Menasseh had Montesinos, who came to Amsterdam in 1644, give his account before the notary. All right, man, so they're finding you everywhere. All right, so I'm going to leave this. I'm going to keep going quick. Get this last part here. The correspondence printed in the preface of Thorogood's book shows Manasseh being most cautious, unconvinced, until he was finally willing to say that the group encountered by Montesino in the Andes in South America could be of the lost tribe, while the rest of the inhabitants of America were migrants from Asia. Well, hey, I'm sure you got different things cracking off, but he is definitely admitting that this is what's going on. All right, Holmes immediately pointed out that this meant that the climax of the world history was at hand, because the lost tribes were beginning to reappear. So by finding the copper-colored race found here by the European, they're saying that this lost tribe is reappearing, and now it's fitting our scheme. Now it's fitting our, you know what I'm saying, you know, our little framework, our little layout. Manasseh had asked, what was the Jewish view about the lost tribes and their reappearance? Rather than write another letter, Manasseh wrote his most famous work, The Hope of Israel, which appeared in 1650 in Spanish, Latin, Hebrew, English, and Dutch a few years later. All right. So even prior to Wall's translation and Manasseh's own publication in Spanish, Hebrew, and Latin, his text of the Montesinos report and his views were having reverberations on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. All right, so this was a big deal. Now listen. Winslow said that there are two great questions which have troubled ancient and modern writers. Listen, what are the two great questions? And how come we have shirts and we're saying, if you can't tell us who we are, how can they tell us who we're not? Because there's two great questions that scholars have, according to their scholar in science of scholarly science, their philology and anthropology and whatever else. Two great questions which have troubled ancient and modern writers and men in the greatest depths and ability they have tried to resolve. Number one, what became of the 10 tribes of Israel? What happened to these copper-colored so-called Negroes? And two, where did the American Indians come from? Those are the two great questions, my people. My people, the two great questions that's in the mind of a hijack, that these invaders had, that troubled them, ancient and modern writers alike. What became of these tribes, man? These tribes, the creator seed, where did they go? Where are they? And where did the American Indians come from? We'll get some more on that, man. Connect that to the millenarians, man. Man, I wanted to get into this Marco Polo drop, but we're going to have to do this in part 4, man, because I'm going to make my dismount, man. But, oh boy. The Prester John series is on the way, continuing, man, of the origin of the kingdom of the Tartars of the quarter from which they came, and their former subjection to Wang Khan, who is a prince of the north called Prester John. King David. Let's go. This is some more Marco Polo work we'll get to of the province of Tinduk, governed by princes of the race of Prester John, King David, priest king, and chiefly inhabited by Christians, or Nestorians, they're calling, connected to this wise king, wisdom, Solomon, of the ordination of their priests and of a tribe of people called Argan, the most personable of the best informed of any in these countries. Tinduk, belonging to the territory of Prester John in the eastern province, in which there are many cities and castles subject to the ruler of the Grand Khan. The Grand Khan. And that's all we got earlier. Perhaps Columbus and his supporters had decided that the Great Khan, Grand Canyon, Grand Khan-yon, reported on by Marco Polo and others might be the Israelite king who dwelt across the river from Prester John. I mean, is it play? Belonging to the territory of Prester John, this Tinduk, in which there are many cities and castles subject to the rule of the Grand Khan. All the princes of that family have remained dependent since Genghis, the first empire, subdued the country. So Genghis rode up on Prester John, and this all happened recently. How does this connect with Shalmaneser and his Babylonian, all this captivity and these Mongols, man? We're just talking Cuba and Cathay and in our language, the north coast of South America. Columbus believes he has at last located the name and kingdom of the Khan. Alright, man. We're just talking about the copper-colored race found here. The copper-colored race found here. But now your titles are given to the Europeans born here. Oh, man. Great drop, y'all. Love y'all, man. Had to get it. Remember the image of Jacob the Knight. Remember what these knights were looking like, and the real of what was going on. Always stay oriented. We'll be back in that flat connected universe, man. As we understand, we are prisoners of war, so habitation is key. And yeah, man, if you ain't subscribed to the backup channel, man, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do a drop within a drop, but go get it, because Horace Butler breaks down the exodus of Moshe from, you know, the Yucatan into South America. He breaks down the Moab side near the Atlantic Ocean, how Jericho is in South America, how the Jordan is the Atlantic, how Edom is there, got Guyana, which is Siana, which is Sinai, how, you know what I'm saying, all the stuff that was going down, man. So I love my people. Thank you, you know what I'm saying, for, you know, dropping back, you know, on the backup, because a lot of drops going to be dropped. You know, a lot of drops going to be dropped in the backup channel coming up. So go get it. Go get this drop. We're just talking about from the Yucatan to Venezuela to Brazil's Atlantic shore, the exodus of Moshe, Mosak, Mashika, Mexico. Get that drop, man. Let's get this right quick, because we are talking artifacts. We are talking Grand Khan and Grand Khan-yons. This is 2 minutes. Let's go. Now, remember the burial drop that we did about how to be burying all our books? Remember that? All right. So there's one rabbi tried to, you know, go dig him up, man. Go dig on it.
Christine Sloan reports it's a struggle between the rabbi and the state.
It is an unbelievable sight. More than 1,000 bags filled with Jewish religious items piled up along this dirt road in...
Now, we're talking America, the copper-colored race found here, and now we got all these items being dug up. Jewish, no, Israelite, Hebrew, artifacts and items, all kinds of stuff. Watch this.
Lakewood, New Jersey. The bags are part of an Orthodox Jewish custom known as shamas, where books and other sacred objects must be buried, not destroyed.
Buried. They bury all sacred objects, especially if they have the Creator's name. Let's go.
Court papers show these bags were illegally buried here, but recently dug up after a judge ordered the rabbi responsible to remove them.
This has been since 2010.
Larry Simons, Jewish himself, first alerted the State Department of Environmental Protection about the bags.
I have to obey the law. You have to obey the law. That's what the law's for.
There are hundreds of bags here. Simon says this is just a portion of what was initially dumped here. Bags are split open with religious items in them. In fact, we found 2 taluses on the ground, prayer shawls with tire marks over them.
Religious items, this to me is profane. It bothers me, and I'm not Orthodox, but it still bothers me because I am Jewish.
Rabbi Chaim
Ish.
Abadi, who counsels teens at the Minyan Shalanu, has been fined for bringing the bags to the wooded area. We tried to talk to him, but he isn't commenting. Only his daughter tells me he was initially given permission by the township. This is how neighbors describe him.
Everybody's a great man, always here for the community, always here to help everyone.
The rabbi had some sort of an approval from our Board of Adjustment, and when I say some sort, he had an approval from our Board of Adjustment.
The DEP would not comment today, referring us to the Attorney General's office, and the person allowed to talk there was not in today. In Lakewood, New Jersey, Christine Sloan, CBS 2 News.
The rabbis...
So this is a follow-up to how to be burying books and artifacts before we got, and this, I mean, it has to just make you sick to your stomach when you say, oh, where's the artifact? Where's the books? Where's all the drop? Buried, man. We got some Michigan artifacts before that. But yeah, you know, we're going to keep it rocking in part 4 with, you know, much more on that artifacts. Just as promised, though. As promised, Paco. Let's get this Paco, man. He's going to get that Psalms 119. Getting love to the King for dropping his first drop, man. And just, you know, many, many more, man. Much more flow and water your way, my brother. And let's just get it, man. I'm going to fall back and enjoy this with y'all because this is amazing. An amazing reading. You know, true food for the spirit. True food for that Ruach. That Ruach God. All praise Hawaii.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah, Paco. Let's go.
Paco. How y'all doing today?
Come
How y'all
on.
doing out there, man? For me, this is beautiful Sabbath morning out here. It's a beautiful rest day. I'm just out here vibing. I just had me something nice. You know what I'm saying? I just came out to enjoy my mother real quick.
Yeah.
You get me? Yeah. I came out to enjoy my mother real quick.
Come
I have
on.
my framer, I have my shaper.
Yeah.
And just so happened to be, I like the shape that my shaper has created. I just like being out here. But not to get too deep, I'm just out here finna read.
Nah, bro. We love you. Drop Nation loves you. You are Drop Nation. You know what I'm saying? It is us. You know what I'm saying? This water is you. Own your water. Be you. You ain't gotta dig on nothing or follow nobody nowhere for you to be. And that's all we are. It's remembering, waking up, man. And like you said, man, I love the shape. My shaper has me in Hawaii.
Psalms 119, real quick. I mean, it's kind of like a real long chapter, but it's the Sabbath morning, it's your rest day, so I believe we all got time to stop and learn something about the Creator.
Come on.
So let's get into it. Blessed are those whose ways are blameless, who walk according to the law of the I am that I am. Blessed are those who keep his statutes and seek him with all their heart. They do no wrong, but follow his ways. You have laid down precepts that are to be fully obeyed. Oh, that my ways were steadfast in obeying your decrees. Then I would not be put to shame when I consider all your commands. I will praise you with an upright heart as I learn your righteous laws. I will obey your decrees. Do not utterly forsake me. How can a young person stay on the path of purity? I'm going to stop it right there real quick. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm 21, so I guess I'm still considered a young person. But you know what I'm saying, growing up, people have always asked me, how do I come off as such a mature person at such a young age? And I simply give them one answer: we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. So in life, we're simply supposed to listen 2 times more than we talk. So for every 1 time that you talk, you're supposed to listen at least twice. You're supposed to listen to your environment. You're supposed to listen to what people say before you, because our ancestors have a lot of knowledge. And by us simply reading the scriptures, we're simply getting back some of that knowledge for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? That there's nothing religious about learning about your ancestry. There's nothing religious about coming out on a rest day to vibe out with the Creator at least 1 time a day. There's nothing religious about that. That should be something that everyone wants to do. That should be something that everyone wants to be a part of, because we're actually giving to something other than ourselves. And that's the essence of life itself. To give more than simply than you take. Because when you talk, you're taking time. But when you listen, you're giving it back. So let's get it. How can a young person stay on the path of purity? By living according to your word. I seek you with all my heart. Do not let me stray from your commands. I have hidden your word in my heart, that I might not sin against you. Praise be to you. Hawa, Hawa.
Wow.
Teach me your decrees. With my lips I recount all the laws that come from your mouth. I rejoice in following your statutes as one rejoices in great riches. I meditate on your precepts and consider your ways. I delight in your decrees. I will not neglect your word. Be good to your servant while I live, that I may obey your word. Open my eyes that I may see wonderful things in your law. I'm going to stop right there. I want to go into something. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when like Israelites and like people like us, we go over the scriptures, sometimes we just see it for face value. We see it for face value because we're only seeing on 3 dimensions at the moment. But when Moses received the law and distributed it to our people, I believe he saw the law for what it really is. The law is not something that you just see on a piece of paper. The law is something that you feel. The law is something that you live. Because yes, we see the 10 Commandments, but the 10 Commandments is actually alive. And if we don't learn to see it on more than 3 dimensions, we'll never be able to fully appreciate the value of it. So I believe our people stray. I believe our people stray away because we're not seeing it for what it really is. And the catch-22 about that is we're the people that's supposed to be seeing it because we're the people that's supposed to be giving it to the rest of the world. I just want to share that.
Wow.
All right. Be good to your servant while I live, that I may obey your word. Open my eyes that I may see wonderful things in your law. I am a stranger on earth. Do not hide your commands from me. My soul is consumed with longing for your laws at all times. You rebuke the arrogant. You are accused. You rebuke the arrogant. You are accursed. Those who stray from your commands, remove from me their scorn and contempt. For I keep your statutes. Though rulers sit together and slander me, your servant will meditate on your decrees. Your statutes are my delight. They are my counselors. I am laid down in the dust. Preserve my life according to your word. I gave an account of my ways, and you answered me. Have you ever had a time in your life where you were waking up to the truth, but you wanted an answer to see if you're actually going down the right way? And I believe we all had that answer different for us, but we all end up riding the same way because we were all meant to be here. In a simple sense, because the Creator has made us in a certain way where we're the ones that are able to think. So we have to the best of our ability, try to teach those around you. Because you're only as strong as your weakest link. And if all your weakest and if all your weaker niggas are stronger than all the little niggas over there, you're gonna win. Y'all get me.
Let go.
Y'all get me. Alright, let me get it back. Okay. Cause me to understand the ways of your precepts, that I may meditate on your wonderful deeds. My soul is weary with sorrow. Strengthen me according to your word. Keep me from deceitful ways. Be gracious to me and teach me your law. I have chosen the way of faithfulness. I have set my heart on your laws. I hold fast your statutes. Hawa, Hawa.
Wow.
Do not let me be put to shame. I run in the path of your commands, for you have broadened my understanding. Teach me that I am, the ways of your decrees, that I may follow it to the end. Give me understanding so that I may keep your law and obey it with all my heart. Direct me in the path of your commands. Excuse me. Direct me in the path of your commands, for there I find delight. Turn my heart toward your statutes and not toward selfish gain. That's a beautiful vibration right there. Let me see how much time I got left on this joint. My bad. Okay. That's a beautiful vibration right there, because he's trying to, I believe King David, in a way, he was trying to oppress the John, if you hip. Shout out to kingdrop. Wow. My man Eliakim. Because, brother, I do love you, man.
Thank you, brother.
Started out with knowledge, but I believe with knowledge we were able to get somewhere which is attuned to real familyhood. We were able to see that life is only made for a purpose, and that purpose is to serve the Creator, in a sense. Because in the Creator, you're serving your people. And that's what all human beings try to do, in a sense. And that's what we simply have to remember. So thank you for making me be able to remember, brother.
King's family, love you, brother.
Along with everybody else. Turn my eyes away from worthless things. Preserve my life according to your word. Fulfill your promise to your servant, so that you may be feared. Take away the disgrace I dread, for your laws are good. For I long for your precepts. In your righteousness preserve my life. May your unfailing love come to me. Hawa, Hawa, wow. Your salvation, according to your promise. Then I can answer anyone who taunts me, for I trust in your word. Never take your word of truth from my mouth, for I have put my hope in your laws. I will always obey your law, forever and ever. I will walk about in freedom, for I have sought out your precepts. I will speak of your statutes before kings, and I will not be put to shame, for I delight in your commands, because I love them. So simply by loving the Creator's law, we're strengthening ourselves. Because in actual living in righteousness, right? You're doing what the Creator wants you to do. So simply by doing what the Creator wants you to do, you're simply going to be here longer. Because we're taking care of the earth. We're not killing. We're not stealing. We're actually resting. We're actually doing what is righteous, because we're following what the Creator wants us to do. And that, in a sense, will keep you here longer, because you have a purpose. To make the next man better than you. Or to make the next man better than he was before he met you. Get it back. I reach out for your commands, which I love, that I may meditate on your decrees. Remember your word to your servant, for you have given me hope. For you have given me hope. My comfort in your suffering is this: your promise preserves my life. The arrogant mock me unmercifully, but I do not turn from your law. I remember, I am that I am, your ancient laws, and I find comfort in them. So our people have always had this. Our people have always had the law. That's what always made it special. That's what always made it special. Because from the Spartans to the ancient samurais of Asia, to the ancient Indians, to all these great civilizations, they all have one thing in common. And that was you, Negro.
Bang.